Board meeting of Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. It is our last select board meeting for the year 2022. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by John.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with open forum. Does anybody have anything for open forum tonight? I don't have anything either, so moving.
I guess so yesterday we had a sprinkler break at our senior housing facility on Tadmuck Road. I just wanted to point out the fact that we had our housing inspector, Board of Health, Fire Department, Police Department, on the day off. They all showed up. Chelmsford Housing Authority has gotten them off-site to hotels and meals and so forth. But yeah, thanks to our town staff for really coming out and making a difference. We had 12 units displaced, so it was a lot of work. Most of the afternoon, I think, spent on that. But great job by the town. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And my understanding, I think, is some of them are back in their homes now. So, all right. So our 705 item is a request for a change of directors on General Law, Chapter 138, Section 12, all alcohol club license for Franco American Club. We have a change. Mine is not working.
Well, do you want this?
Oh, I have the agenda. I just
you
can't
want
open the documents.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, as you can see, we're back live using our Chromebooks, and it's been 2 years since we've used our Chromebooks, so some of us are a little behind. Anyway, we have a request for a change of management for the Franco. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, because I should also announce that Select Board member Anita Tonican-Wynn is on the phone tonight, participating remotely, and because of that, we do have to do roll call votes. So,
Would you like me to read the memo, or just what's taking place with the license, or do you not care? Okay.
no, I said that we were changing the license
It gives names.
for Richard Crocker.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor, John?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye. Anita?
Aye.
Okay. Our next item, we have our consent agenda, and we have a request to approve the following. We have a banner for the Westford Firefighters Annual Christmas Tree Collection. The applicant is the Westford Firefighters Association from December 30th, 2022 to Monday, January 9th, 2023, in front of the First Parish Church. The second one is the vow renewal wedding ceremony. The applicant is James Ticknell. The date is Saturday, June 3rd. The now requested time is from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you remember, we held this at our last meeting because we just wanted to make sure there wasn't a conflict, and there isn't. All those in favor? I'm sorry, I need a motion. Is there a motion to approve? A second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? John?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye. Anita?
Aye.
Okay. All right, we're at our 7:15 p.m., which is old and new business. The first item on our agenda is to consider approval of the contract with Kristen Loss, who is our new town manager. We have a contract with her. We reached an agreement with her last week, right before the holidays. She signed it today. Her start date is January 31st. I know that I had initially said February 1st, but because of health insurance reasons, we backed it up a day to January 31st to make sure that she has complete coverage and doesn't lose anything. So the contract is from January 31st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026. We're all looking forward to her starting here with us at the end of January. She will be participating in the budget hearings that start in January, and she'll participate in those remotely. With that, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Tom?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Anita?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll sign the contract at the end of the meeting.
Just another thank you to the search committee and all the people who worked so hard to put that process together. I know it was a lot of work, and I know we're all just delighted with Kristen.
Thanks. It was a great committee, it really was. Our next item is to consider appointing Jody as our acting town manager until the start of Kristen's new contract on January 31st. Jody has graciously agreed to continue on as our acting town manager between January 3rd, which was technically supposed to be her last day, and January 31st. It was a longer gap between her and Kristen than we had hoped for. There's a lot going on in the town right now. We're coming into budget season, and there's also preparation for town meeting and 51 Main Street and other projects going on. And so for continuity reasons, as well as just pure personnel reasons and having enough bodies to be able to do all of the work that's here right now, Jody agreed to continue to work with us. She will be in Florida, but she will be, if not on call 16 hours a day, which is what her work schedule right now is, she'll certainly be on call for, she'll certainly be working, for us during that time period, and will be available to, not only to the board, but to all of the department heads and all of our employees. So it is with great thanks and appreciation that you volunteered to do this. We really appreciate it. Okay.
I mean, I make
Yep,
a
yep.
motion to appoint.
Oh, we have to have a motion to appoint her, yes.
I make a motion to
Second.
appoint Jody acting town manager from January 3rd through the 31st.
I'll second.
Okay.
It's actually going to be January 4th because I'm still working for you on the 3rd.
Okay.
So January
Fun-
4th through the 31st.
Okay,
For the amendment taken.
And second.
all right. All those in favor, Tom?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Anita?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, our next item is a request to submit an action plan for the MBTA communities to DHCD on behalf of the town of Westford. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for being with us tonight.
My pleasure. So, for the record, my name is Jeffrey Morissette. I'm your Director of Land Use Management, and as you may recall, Westford is an MBTA adjacent community, and pursuant to Section 3A of the Zoning Act and the subsequent DHCD guidelines, we are mandated to provide a zoning district that allows for multifamily housing as of right by the end of 2024. And we first briefed this board, I believe, at your meeting of January 25th, 2022. We recommended a series of, or suggestions, recommendations to move this process forward and to develop an action plan in time by the deadline. Originally, the deadline was by the end of this month, but with the later guidelines, they extended that to the end of January 2023. And so, since we met with you folks in January, we've done a lot of work since then. We've developed a web page to share information about these requirements. We've introduced this requirement at the strategic planning retreat. We conducted an online survey to gather some initial feedback from the community. We sought input from boards and committees. We've worked a lot with our GIS department and gathered a lot of information to show it graphically. And we worked with the planning board for the last couple of months to develop the action plan that's in your packet tonight. So it's currently proposed, which might not be much of a shock, a lot of the suggested district, and we are proposing an overlay district at this time, is principally located along portions of Littleton Road, Route 110, with a few sections along Concord Road, Carlisle, and Powers, but it's all generally in proximity to Littleton Road. This action plan, it doesn't commit us or bind us to a specific course of action, other than that we're committing to try to satisfy the state's mandate by the end of 2024. So if parcels are shown in the district now, they can come out. Others that are not yet in can come in. We fully expect that this will change as we actually begin the true public planning process, so it's not etched in stone. But the state is looking to see that we are actually giving this serious consideration, moving forward, and not just ignoring this. And if we submit an adequate action plan in time, we'll maintain our status of interim compliance. Some of the goals of the plan as we move forward is we want to try to at least maintain the option of preserving our subsidized housing inventory. We don't want to backslide with all the good work that the town's done in recent years. We want to create some incentives to encourage types of developments or projects or features that we cannot require under a zoning bylaw here, but we might be able to encourage them through creative ways. We want to promote some positive redevelopment opportunities, and we want to create some good economic development opportunities. We also want to provide some strategic new growth in locations that make sense. So at this point, we're really here to seek the Select Board's permission to submit the action plan that's in your packet as may be amended tonight. And we think this plan is only going to get better as we go through that public process, but we think we're at a very good starting point. And I'm here to try to answer any questions that you might have. There's a lot of information in your packet tonight.
Thanks, Jeff, and thank you and the planning board for all of your work on this, and the GIS department. There's really been a lot of work done in this, and I'm sure it has taken hours of your time.
And my staff, not afraid to delegate.
So thank you for all of the work. Do you folks have questions? John, and then Tom?
Yeah. Jeff, when we first started this thing, we were looking at Route 40 also, and it looked like they were absent from this. Was there any reason that we didn't include any parcels along Route 40?
Yes. So when we were going through that process, we thought that Route 40 was a little bit more delicate than Littleton Road. Route 40 has a lot more residentially zoned properties. Throughout the planning board's conversation, they were open to selective parcels perhaps along Route 40, but it's going to take more exploration through the larger planning process. So just for the short term, it would have taken a lot more time to vet those parcels and to look at the potential impacts to residential neighbors. So for now, it's not shown in the draft overlay district, but they have not ruled it out, as long there's other properties as well that they're open to considering.
Well, your action plan looks pretty good, pretty thorough, I thought.
Thank you.
Tom?
Agree, it looks great, and I know the Economic Development Committee was really pleased and excited about this, so thank you for sharing that with them. You mentioned affordability, so what, is there any way that we can encourage, you mentioned encouraging more affordable housing stock. Is there anything we can do to make it more economically attractive, or make a minimum requirement, or I'm trying to just get a handle on whether we have any control or not about whether that ends up being affordable?
So right now, I believe we can require that 10% of the units be affordable at 80% of the area median income. We can require that, but we don't have to. And so, but that could be a way to leverage some other, we can't require age-restricted housing. There's a lot of things that we cannot require as part of the bylaw, but that doesn't prevent us from providing incentives. So perhaps the planning board, if they could potentially waive or reduce some of the affordability requirements in exchange for some features that the town might want to see that's important to them at that moment in time. So for instance, workforce housing, though not affordable at 80% AMI, they could potentially, provide workforce housing and maybe more units than would have been affordable. That's something that could be a benefit to the town, and still provide a little more level of affordability, though it doesn't count for SHI purposes. We have to go through a lot of justification in order to require more than 10% of the units be affordable, and I'm not sure that's something that would be easy to prove and document to DHCD. So I think initially we would be looking for the 10% level of affordability. You can require deeper level of affordability, but you have to, again, go through those studies by qualified third-party persons and document to the satisfaction of DHCD. I don't expect that would be an easy thing to do. So I think for at least the short term, we would like to come out of the gate with having the 10% that would be allowed.
And the planning board would have the authority to hold them to that or make some other trade-off like you suggest?
That would be our recommendation, yes.
Okay. So if citizens who are active and eager and excited about affordable housing wanted to have their voice be heard, they should speak to the planning board.
If that's where the public planning process takes it. Where, at this point in time, it makes the most sense for the planning board to be the permit granting authority, because it'd be very similar to, it'd be essentially a site plan review process. So there can't be a special permit process for the multifamily component. It would be strict planning board, basic site plan review.
Is there, can I ask one more question?
No, yeah.
Is there anything that's come out of the work so far that would indicate how many units this might yield in the end?
So we are mandated to create a potential of at least 924 units. The state recently developed, they have this methodology for estimating the number of potential units. We have not gone through that exercise yet of trying to take all these parcels. You have to input all the parameters, and it will give you a guideline of it could generate this many units. We have not gone through that process yet. We don't need to do it for the action plan. We will be seeking perhaps some technical assistance from NIMCOG, and we are also going to secure the services of a consultant through that recent grant that we acquired. So we're hoping that either NIMCOG or the consultant could assist us with that, but we're certainly capable of doing that in-house. It's just, we'd rather devote our time towards crafting a better bylaw than doing some of the calculations through the state's process.
Great, that helps. That's very clear. Yeah, I'm just excited for the opportunity for more affordable, more workforce, and more young family housing in town, so that's great.
The plan was presented to the Affordable Housing Trust Committee, and we did have the opportunity to comment on it as well. Just so it has gone to them, and I am assuming it, as we move forward, they'll continue to be involved.
Great.
Scott?
So thinking about, this is a MBTA mandated, activity, and Route 110 makes great sense because that's where all of our mass transit pretty much is. Now, if we were to pick sites that are farther afield, Route 40 or wherever else, that aren't served currently by mass transit, are we then going to be also mandated to supply transit to those locations? Or is that just, we just have to pick some, and if you live there, it's your own way of getting to the train station or the bus stop?
So the guidance documents, in addition to picking areas like that are near highway access, they also give some guidance towards village areas. And of course, there aren't going to be necessarily mass transit options in those locations. We do think it might make sense for some other village areas, but we also don't think, for instance, that you could paint Graniteville in the same brush that's used on Littleton Road. There's a lot more historical and other features that we think would need to be specifically tailored to a village area like that. So again, the planning board hasn't ruled it out, but at this stage of the game, before we do a lot more work, we think it's premature to include those other more sensitive areas where you don't have greater accessibility to highway. I'm sorry. One last thing, just because a lot of the areas are in the commercial highway or industrial highway zoning district, which is predominantly up and down Littleton Road, we definitely want to think about also providing incentives to incorporate a non-residential component into some of these projects. Like, we don't want to just simply take chunks of our prime commercial real estate and have it go solely towards housing. We want to create some flexibility and to have, a mixture of uses and to place, residents near commercial opportunities that they could walk to, So we don't want it to be an all or nothing. We want to definitely incentivize that type of development. But again, we can't require it, but we can encourage it.
Anita, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Thank you.
just checking.
Thanks.
So you need from us tonight a vote to support that, the action plan, is that right?
Yep, we're just looking for permission to submit the action plan on behalf of the town.
Okay, is there a motion to submit the action plan on behalf of the town?
So moved.
In a second? Thank you. All those in favor, Scott?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Anita?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you
Thanks
very
so
much. Appreciate it.
Again, appreciate all your hard work.
Oh, yeah.
Problem, thank you.
Okay, board reports and updates. Do we have any?
I have one.
Yep.
Yep. So this is related to NIMCOG, and something that they're offering all of their communities is a digital equity plan, sort of technical assistance to then have an analysis ready to apply for grant funding to improve digital equity across the town. And all of the towns or communities in the NIMCOG region are eligible because as long as you have some vulnerable populations, including like lower income or older adults, like senior citizens and stuff like that, you're eligible. So I was kind of not ready to share it since I didn't know what the timeline was going to look like for acting town manager, but now that Jody is going to be sticking around, I might share the materials with you so then we can kind of take a look to see if that's something that we're interested in. There'd be no cost to the town. It's just an analysis to help us prepare for a grant submission if we wanted to do that.
Anita, she just put her head in her hands.
Smiling and nodding enthusiastically.
Okay.
I'm fine, Anita, just email that to me, okay?
Okay.
I have not heard that, so that sounds exciting, actually.
It does, actually. That's a really, that's a great thing that NIMCOG is offering. Okay. We have minutes for approval. We have the minutes for our regular sessions of November 29th, 2022 and December 10th, 2022 for release. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second? All those in favor? Scott?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Anita?
Aye.
Aye. You're up.
Oof, that was quick. Okay, so I have a request to approve the following contracts. William James College for Interface Referral Services in the amount of $39,000. Tie and Bond for a contract amendment for professional engineering services on Depot Road Replacement Well Project in the amount of $33,000. And purchase orders, McGovern Municipal HQ for a 2022 Ford Police Interceptor utility all-wheel drive hybrid in the amount of $52,424.35. Grants, the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners for partial funding of the addition and renovation of the J.B. Fletcher Library in the amount of $7,851,994. National Association of County and City Health, NACHO, for a grant amendment for the Upper Merrimack Valley Medical Reserve Corps for shelter supplies at $26,250. And I will say this is Nicole Laviolette's first grant she just got for Emerson Health for community benefit grant funds in the amount of $2,000 as requested by her department.
Questions, John?
Yeah, I have a question on the Board of Library Commissioner grant.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
the question is, I know we have online for one signature on that first page, you know, the contract, but there are a couple other things in there that they require a signature. I wondered if we want to do that at the same time. And it's the Board of Library Commissioners contractor authorized signature listing and also an agreement that are attached to that. And I noticed on the line when you sent that to me, Jody, that it shows for signature of those two also. So, and of course, one of them does have a check off for a town manager. And
So
this
basically,
is what I was talking about, right?
yeah, basically, we're asking you to allow us to enter this agreement with the
Okay.
state. So this is a state contract.
Understand.
And, right, so if you take a vote, we will do everything necessary to enter this. So you don't have to vote by, you know, page or
Yeah,
anything.
well, I just, you know, in our,
I think, is your question,
Well, I understood. My question was, do we need to sign more than one document? Do we need to approve more
Yes, you
than
don't
one?
need to approve them.
Just to
We're
approve
asking you to
your
approve
signature
this
form.
grant, and then I can sign, and we'll make sure. I think there was some confusion. The state thought the library might be a nonprofit because it didn't have the towns of Westford in it. But, I mean, I think those things are Scrivener's errors and not a huge deal, but I'm happy to correct them and
Yeah, I was just
sign
worried
it
if we signed something
appropriately.
that wasn't accurate, that
Yeah,
it might have an
it's,
impact.
I mean,
at
with
some-
the
some
state,
point in
yeah,
time.
but that's fine,
Okay.
yep, and I know they sent it today, and I forwarded it to you,
Yeah,
but
that's
honestly, I didn't have time to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and I will do that before I sign it tomorrow, so.
Okay, great.
And I think we have a trustee here, just in case
Yeah.
there's any questions, so.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
my question.
Yep.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to approve and accept the contracts, purchase orders, and grants as listed in our agenda tonight?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor? Tom?
Aye.
Anita? Aye. Scott? John?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we're at our 7:45 PM item, which is a farewell to our town manager. Although it's not quite really a farewell now, because she's not quite leaving, but she won't be here in person with us anymore. So it's a farewell to you in person at our meetings, if not to the town. So, Jody, we have a few things for you,
Oh,
because we want you to remember Westford. But
awesome.
before we give them to you, I think I speak on behalf of the board, and as you've heard over the last weeks leading up to your departure, you have, over the past 14 years, led this town with passion, compassion, integrity, professionalism, and you have moved us over the past 14 years from a town that was operated on a much smaller level than it does today. We have grown in 14 years, not only in population, but in population, in buildings, in our budget, in our finances, in how much we undertake now as a town. You have put together a staff that is beyond compare to any other town, and a staff which follows your lead and direction in thinking every morning when they come to work that they're here to help and to serve, and that's an attitude that you have set from the very beginning. So on behalf of the board, on behalf of everybody who has worked with you, by you, and for you, we can only say thank you, which really doesn't begin to express our deep gratitude and appreciation for you. So
Thank you so much, I really appreciate it,
We
and
have
it's been
some-
my honor
we have some things.
and my passion to work here, so
We have
thank you.
something
Oh,
for you.
oh. Look at that. Isn't that cute? You see that, Nick? Where the camera is, that way? Yeah, okay, I got a thumbs up. Oh, that's great.
That's one of the last ones that Sandy Shepherd actually carved and painted.
Carved and painted.
Oh, my goodness. That's awesome. Wow. Oh, well, thank you so much. Is there-
Oh, there's
There's
more.
more in there. It's not just paper.
Oh, this is awesome. I have this, but it's good to have a second copy, you know, so.
We didn't know if you did or not.
I do, yes, but thank you very much. I have several books on Westford. All right. I read, what was the risky one?
Oh, yes.
Somebody gave me that a long time ago. Oh, Wild Women of Westford. That fits, right? Thank you. I haven't seen that. That's awesome. Oops. Somebody was shopping. Oh, so I can drink my margaritas in this, right?
Yes.
When I get home? Thank you very much. Oh,
You can drink with both hands.
a little ornament. Oh.
You shouldn't drink
Oh,
alone.
that's nice, entering Nabnasset. That's cool. I gotta keep that away from the Graniteville and Forge folks. Okay, is that it? Well, thank you so much. That's very sweet. I really appreciate it. You guys have thanked me and bid me farewell many times already, so that's really nice. Thank you.
Anybody else want to say anything, or anybody from the audience want to say anything?
I would just want the public to know the very, very warm support and farewell you got from the staff and the team here. So we were privileged to see some of the wonderful things the staff put together for you, and I know that's, you know, we're very grateful, but I'm sure their gratitude and respect is incredibly important to you, and it was there just for everyone watching to know. A lot of appreciation for Jody.
Well, and you guys did the slideshow at the town meeting with a.
That was Anita. She put it together.
speech. Yes, thank you, Anita, for putting the one with my pixie cut in there, too.
For staying another month, Jody.
But no, you've been great. The staff, I mean, they're friends, too. So, I mean, I will miss the people. I won't miss the trash calls that we had today for delaying trash, or not delaying trash, but I will miss the people, the residents, all of you, and certainly all of the staff. And so it's been great. Yeah, that guy, I'll miss him too.
As I said, if I had to encapsulate, 14 years, or at least my 10 years of it into one, I remember, I think it was the January 2019 budget year. It was a budget preparation at Millennium School. It was a year with no increases any place. It was all very tight. And every single one of your department heads down the line, police, fire, every one of them said, yeah, I've got a basically zero-based budget, but I'm going to do this to improve my department for the town. And that kind of management mindset comes from the top. That can-do spirit comes to the top. The lack of complaints, I'm going to make it work anyway. So that's what you've done for the town, really, is to sort of send a signal that there's no excuse to not perform well. In fact, we try to overperform, and you've modeled it, your staff has modeled it, and that's why the town's what it is. So thank you.
Well, then let me also say, I think it's the people that I've hired along the way. You get to know these folks, and even in interviews, you get to see who cares about the town and who's passionate about it, and that's who I try to hire, is those kind of people, and I think we've got those kind of people, right?
It's true.
She's on vacation. Where is she? She's sitting here in this meeting with you, so. This guy was up at 2 a.m. with his children on Christmas mornings, and he's still struggling with that, but.
We almost didn't make it.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody goes above and beyond, so, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
Well, in the last 15 years or so, since I've been working on a lot of the committees, you've always been supportive of the committees, and I really appreciate that. And I think, in my experience, I don't think I've seen a better job. You've done a superb job balancing the budget and running the town for us. So thanks, Jody.
Thank you. John gave me 4 stars. How many moons ago? That might have been 12 or 13 years ago. I have 4. I never wore them, but I have them.
Actually, it was 5.
5? Oh, gosh, I got to get them out.
It's a cluster of 5 stars, and I felt that, in dealing with the police department, she might need that extra star.
The police are awesome, so. But thank you very much. It's very generous.
Well, okay. So as I said, this is the last Select Board meeting of 2022. I just want to take a moment and thank all of our town staff and all of our employees for all of their hard work this year, all of our committee representatives, and all of our volunteers and all of the residents here in Westford. It's been a challenging year, but everybody has risen to the occasion. Everybody works so hard, gives so much of themselves to this town. It's what makes this town what it is. It's why we all live and work here. So on behalf of the Select Board, thank you all. And we all look forward to 2023 for new and exciting things. There are lots of changes coming. So, we have one more thing.
You mentioned committees, and so the Affordable Housing Committee decided we wanted just to give you a picture. It's actually starts at school, but it's signed by the members, both emeritus and.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
But, we didn't get them all, so if you're going to be around, we'll get a few more of them.
Yeah.
But we want to say thanks
That's
you
so
from.
nice.
I think when you were first here was the Veterans housing, we've since then
Yes,
had Roberta
yes.
McGuire's housing.
Yes.
We've got groundbreaking for Mickey Crocker.
Oh, that's
Hopefully you've
awesome.
laid the seeds for Town Farm, so.
Yeah.
We're very appreciative of the Affordable Housing Committee and Trust, and
That's great. Thank you so much. I'll cherish this, so, yeah, thank you.
And so with that, we're going to say goodnight to everybody here in Westford. Everybody have a very safe and healthy and happy new year, and we'll see you all in 2023.